Bueno, lo que viene ahora tiene que ver con el gobierno de Estados Unidos y con una nueva ley que entrará en vigencia en el año 2013. Y se trata nada más y nada menos que de un chip. ¿Se acuerdan del hombre del chip? Nosotros nos reíamos que venía acá el hombre del chip. Bueno, el hombre del chip que no nos avisó lo que nos iba a pasar a todos. Obama aprobó la implantación de un microchip obligatorio en Estados Unidos que entrará en vigencia en el año 2013. Así que vamos a ver las imágenes que corresponden a lo que va a suceder y mientras tanto yo les voy leyendo la noticia que ya está en todos los portales de internet. La reforma sanitaria o reforma de salud que fue aprobada por el presidente Barack Obama ha establecido que dentro de unos 3 años la tecnología biométrica será la credencial de identificación para los pacientes que visiten y puedan ser atendidos en un centro de salud. O sea, si un paciente no tiene este microchip, ningún centro de salud de los Estados Unidos lo va a atender. Según informes del gobierno de los Estados Unidos, esta ley entrará en vigor a partir de marzo-abril del año 2003. El exministro de Salud y Servicios Humanos, Tommy Thompson, quien colaboró con la administración de Bush y quien es el dueño de la compañía autora del sistema VeriChip, se comprometió a acelerar el proceso de identificación en las clases sociales de Norteamérica para comenzar a clasificar a cada ciudadano por chip. Bueno, las nuevas leyes que indican la implantación del microchip dicen que cada uno de estos chips va a tener, es un centro de información, como si fuera una mini computadora. ¿Qué tipo de datos va a tener este microchip? Datos de órdenes médicas del paciente, datos de consultas de los pacientes, archivos de análisis estandarizados que permitan la estadística y el análisis de datos procedentes de diferentes entornos de datos, registros electrónicos de salud y cualquier otra información que sea apropiada por el ministerio. Cabe destacar que el microchip va a tener el tamaño de un grano de arroz, el cual puede ser implantado en la mano o en la frente del paciente. Bueno, se podrán imaginar que cuando yo me enteré de esto, dije, no, hay que hacer una nota y avisarle a la gente, porque esto ya es ley, está en Estados Unidos, significa que la persona que no se deje implantar un chip en la mano o en la cabeza no va a poder ser atendido en centros de salud de Estados Unidos a partir de abril del 2013. Y esto es ley, ya no es profecía, ya no es me parece, me lo dijeron, esto es ley. Y se está, bueno, obviamente sale en todos los diarios de los Estados Unidos.
Para decirle, mirad, esto es lo que pasa y así es como ocurre. Creo que estamos en la cúspide de lo que pienso que será una transformación mundial e histórica en cuanto al uso de la información para el control. Las fuerzas especiales no irrumpirán en casa a las 3 de la madrugada para implantarnos un microchip en el cuerpo. El proceso será más sutil y progresivo. Las prisiones se han convertido en una especie de campo de pruebas para las nuevas tecnologías. Protocolos para detectar drogas, por ejemplo, detectores de metales. Las cámaras de seguridad se usaron por primera vez en prisiones. Hay una larga historia de nuevos regímenes de control que se aplican sobre poblaciones aisladas o grupos estigmatizados como presos o grupos marginados, como los beneficiarios de la seguridad social. Es más difícil que la opinión pública sienta compasión por ellos y también les resulta más difícil poder resistirse. Desde cocineros hasta agentes especiales, cada individuo de los más de 1 millón de miembros del personal militar de Estados Unidos verá cómo los microchips sustituyen a las placas de identificación. Existen muchos estudios sobre las aplicaciones bélicas de las innovaciones científicas. Los militares, especialmente en Estados Unidos, están a la cabeza de lo que se ha denominado ciberguerra o guerra de información. Han recurrido a la idea de usar la información y las tecnologías de la comunicación para obtener ventaja en el campo de batalla. Las empresas y los gobiernos tienen su plan de acción y creo que debemos entender que los microchips se convertirán en algo dominante en el sentido de que pueden resolver muchos problemas locales y que pueden capitalizar ciertos aspectos para obtener beneficios. Así, evolucionarán a través de decisiones localizadas que permitirán controlar mejor a pacientes de Alzheimer desaparecidos. O puede que me ayuden a controlar más fácilmente a mi hijo, que está jugando en el jardín. Así sabré si se aleja de la casa. Son estos beneficios localizados y estas decisiones localizadas las que progresivamente apuntarán hacia esa dirección. No tiene por qué centrarse todo en los microchips. Podría ser cualquier otra cosa que nos permita llevar un control. a tiempo real. Pero sea lo que sea, se desarrollará tal y como he dicho. Primero se aplicará al ejército, luego será un requisito en tu trabajo, en el que cambiarás ciertos derechos de privacidad por un acceso privilegiado. Esta dinámica, sea cual sea el final, será la dinámica que siga en marcha.
Hello, this is a place called Ryde on the Isle of Wight, just off the south coast of England, the mainland over there. And one of the things that I've heard said over many years about me and what I do.
Este tipo, de cuyo nombre la rubia no ha querido acordarse, y que ha descrito como el bufón del chip, más o menos, es David Icke. Muchos otros también lo tachan de loco, de conspiranoico, por supuesto, de tal, pero si realmente está loco, seguramente será el loco mejor documentado de todo el planeta, porque es impresionante lo que está, toda la documentación que te puede aportar en una sola conferencia este hombre. El caso es que hace ya muchos años, ya desde 1990, que él viene hablando de estas cosas, viene avisando. Y no es porque, claro, es que tiene una visión muy amplia y no tiene prejuicios, y es periodista de investigación, tiene contactos en la CIA y sabe muchas cosas. Y lo que pasa es que no le creen, sencillamente. Es demencial.
I know all this is a fact because I've read it in a few places, and a few things have gone around about all this bloody nonsense. So come and see me mansion. I'll put the butler on alert so he'll be ready to talk to us and get us a cocktail.
Vale, ya lo hemos pillado.
The microchip population.
Fue futbolista, parece ser que es de los buenos, y luego fue periodista deportivo, y luego acabó haciendo periodismo de investigación, vaya. Afortunadamente para todos, no le dio por cantar.
You've been on this pathway now for about 20 years.
Yeah.
And you started
and it
off...
don't seem a day too long.
Yeah, 20 years is a long time, and it feels like it, I'm sure.
No, actually, I'm getting more energized, Suzanne.
Yes,
actually,
yeah.
I really am. You know, the toughest part of it was putting the chairs out in dusty halls, no one sitting on them, and then putting the chairs back and going home. Poor when I arrived, that was the tough. This is a joy now that you get such energy.
En fin, es lamentable, pero bueno, aquí tenemos a David Icke en 2013 en la puerta del Congreso dando morcilla ahí con unos manifestantes y tal, y expresándose, y fuera.
Not truth, justice and honesty, that's for sure. Anything but, and it's just a farce going on here, where the whole thing's being stitched up by three masks on the same face.
Absolutely, but surely it pacifies the public when they get to elect middle management and not the franchise owner, surely.
Well, I think what's happening here is that there's a serious move to try to create a one-party state in Britain.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because if you get the so-called progressive alliance, which if you look at the definition of progressive is anything but progressive.
Yeah.
It's a constant thing, it's a constant unravelling story of research and information and communication all the time. There's a bit of a theme.
Y la verdad es que está como una choza. Él dice que ve a la humanidad como un gran león que duerme, aunque en realidad nos comportamos como borregos, pero que somos como un gran león que duerme y que se va a despertar en breve. Y ese despertar él lo compara más bien con una elevación de conciencia, es decir, que realmente vamos a empezar a ser conscientes de muchas cosas que antes ni siquiera nos enterábamos. Él a veces habla de que si vivimos en una Matrix, y realmente no es ninguna locura, no es que esté loco, él lo que quiere decir es que nosotros hasta hace poco no sabemos que realmente no es terrorismo lo que hay, sino que es un puñado de cobardes asesinos y porque son increíblemente inteligentes y que nos están manipulando a todos. Entonces es una cuestión más de percepción y de entender lo que dicen, ¿no?
Which I got from when my grandkids come, they love it. This is Rudolph. It's good enough.
Bueno, y en realidad también es un firme defensor de la teoría del universo holográfico tridimensional, ¿no? Que en realidad que todo en realidad es energía vibrando a distintas frecuencias, y que es en realidad a las conclusiones y a donde le está llevando los últimos experimentos de física cuántica, vamos.
This coffin, I thought it was a great thing, so I got a copy of that. You see the themes of lions again around here, and this one I love. Oh God, this one I saw that, I thought it was brilliant. integrity. The soul is dyed the colour of its thoughts. Think only of those things that can bear the full light of day. The content of your character is your choice. Day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is who you become. Your integrity is your destiny. It is the light that guides
Ya sabemos cómo son los medios de comunicación en algunos países, ya lo hemos visto. El caso es que en 1991
it has been the dominating force. Evil is not the right word. It is imbalance. But it has been increasingly in control, as I repeat. Survey the world, ladies and gentlemen. Is the force of love in control of this world, guiding this planet at this time? Of course not. The negativity, the thoughts that I'm talking about that are very destructive, are pouring out of this planet every day.
Was it a great shock for you to discover this at 38?
But again, you know the best way of removing negativity is to laugh and be joyous. I'm delighted that there's so much laughter in the audience tonight. But just let me say this.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you. I don't want you to misinterpret it.
Porque además, fijaros como al final de la entrevista, antes, o sea, justo después de despedirse, el presentador aún coge y dice, bueno, y ahora toca no sé qué, sería una locura perdérselo, y eso lo dice como diciendo, ya que hoy estamos con el tema de locos, claro, o sea, que aún le insulta incluso. Fijaros.
While people focus on who shot Phil Mitchell. That is frustrating, because my children and your children, thank you, are going to have to live, indeed, in the timescale, so are we, because we're living in it now, when the most basics of freedoms are being taken away. Yeah, and this is happening all over the world, and it's coordinated. Now, if people want to think that that's all happening by accident, please be my guest. I don't give a damn.
But
the evidence is that it's not. Eh?
If it's controlled, it's not happening by accident. Who is controlling people or trying to control them?
Well, there is a network of families that you can take back to the ancient world, to places like Babylon, Sumer, which is now Iraq. You can chart them through to Rome, where they were responsible for the Roman Empire and the creation of the Roman Church. God save us from religion, by the way. And then they came up into Europe to become the European aristocracy and royal families. Then through the great empires of Europe, especially the British Empire, but others too, these family bloodlines and the secret society network through which they manipulate themselves into power were exported all over the world. And then when the point came where the European colonial powers appeared to give independence to these countries, that was only on the surface. What actually happened was the family bloodlines and the secret society network through which they manipulate was left out in these former colonies, and they've gone on controlling them ever since. So what you have is a hidden hand where events are manipulated, like 9/11, which not just me, but endless other researchers now around the world have taken apart the official story. It insults the intelligence of a 10-year-old. And you have a hidden hand manipulating events, and the whole goal of it is centralization of power to the point where humans are little more than controlled clones.
Who's the hidden hand? I mean, who are these hidden hands?
This network of families I'm talking about. You find that people that are in positions of apparent power, like prime ministers and presidents, are actually puppets of the real power, which doesn't put itself on public display. Why would it? I mean, does anyone really think that George W. Bush is running America? He probably couldn't tie his shoelaces, never mind run a country. Let me tell you this. Tell me about the project for the new American century. Tell me about it.
I know nothing about it.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you then something that you should know about. And this is written down. In the 1990s, an organization was created in America called the Project for the New American Century. The people who created it were the people that had run the Bush administration from the moment it came to power. In the year 2000, in September, the Project for the New American Century produced a report, a document, calling for a series of conquests of countries, one of which was Iraq. It actually says in the document, words to the effect of, we must use the excuse of Saddam Hussein to go into Iraq.
Well, look, can I interrupt?
No, hold a second.
No, but honestly,
no.
Honestly, you see this.
See, but this is the thing, Terry. You see.
No, but honestly,
you say to me,
America is an open society, isn't it?
Oh, please!
It's not an open society.
I've got some seafront property in Birmingham, Terry. You might like to buy, mate. Honestly, please, please.
David.
And they say I'm crazy and weird. America is an open society. My.
Well,
God.
I thought in my innocence that most Americans would know what was going on in America.
Oh, God.
But it's all, you know it all, and...
Oh, you see, now you talked about cheap jibes. That's a cheap jibe.
No,
I'm not claiming I know it all. I'm saying that I've been to 40 countries. I've spent enormous amount of time in America talking to people who do know what's going on, victims of what's going on, and I'm passing this over to people. Now, yeah, sure.
You see how preposterous it is.
What, the fact that you think America's an open society?
No.
Absolutely ludicrous, Terry. I've never heard anything so stupid in your life.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. David Icke, thank you. Good luck with your mission.
Pleasure. Thank you.
So join me after the break, and I'll be chatting to Ulrika Johnson about life in the tabloids. You'd be mad to miss it.
Series of steps. So in the early 1990s, the information that was coming into my life was about the fact that there was a cabal that was manipulating human society and world events towards the goal of a Orwellian global state, in which there would be a world government dictating to every country. Countries would be dismantled and become regions of great power structures. The European Union is a classic. And what we're seeing now with the European Union is the next stage of breaking countries up by destroying them financially, and then centrally dictating financially and in terms of government. And that there was a plan for a global army to impose the will of the world government, a world central bank to impose the cabal's global financial structure and control, and that the plan was for every child at birth to be microchipped as a matter of course. Now that was kind of whoa enough as the information came, and of course with the passage of the years this has been confirmed more and more by the fact that it's happening.
Bueno, y por último añadiré sobre él que, bueno, que luego nos dará 4 consejillos más tarde y tal, y que considero una enorme suerte que esta persona no haya tirado la toalla y que sea capaz de seguir mostrándonos auténticas y genuinas verdades como pianos de cola de grandes, que las tenemos delante de las narices y somos incapaces de verlas por nuestros prejuicios generalmente.
It's a story that reveals that not just now, not just in the modern world, but back thousands and thousands of years, a tiny, tiny few people, indeed interbreeding genetic bloodlines, have controlled, entered the positions of power, and have orchestrated what we call history. So that wherever you look, increasingly as we've created the technology to become a global society, increasingly this tiny little clique, the tribe or the brotherhood as I call them, have been able to orchestrate the major events and therefore the direction of the world on a global scale, and a scale that beggars belief.
I began to realize too But against the background of this utter self-destruction, on this same planet is stunning wisdom. And I began to see also that there is a great difference between cleverness and wisdom. They're not the same thing. This system is very clever, but it isn't very wise, and it's the lack of wisdom that is the problem. I began to see that what we call wisdom is often not found in this state-of-the-art letters after their name system. It's actually found in the native peoples that this system would see as backward. Piece of Native American wisdom, what have become known as American Indians. When you have cut down the last tree and poisoned the last river, you will know that you cannot eat money. That's wisdom.
You know what they used to call me years ago? They used to say, David Icke's the prophet of doom. That's what they used to say in the early 90s. He's the prophet of doom. And actually, you know, nothing could be further from the truth, really, because when you see life for what it is, it's a joy, or should be a joy, and it's our choice to make it a joy.
Full of love, happiness, peace, harmony, vibrating together.
Or war, stress,
we choose.
Fear. We choose.
Our choice.
Yeah, collectively and individually, yes. And we're at a real enormous point of choice now.
Yeah.
But the way it's going, it's a done deal. It's part of the story of this reality is that we're now entering a period of enormous expansion. Hallelujah to that, brother and sister. And the Pope's coming. Pope's coming Sunday.
The Pope's coming Sunday. And Amma, the famous spiritual...
The hugger.
The hugger. The
Yeah.
hugger is here as well this weekend.
Yes, and so the Pope's coming on Sunday. I sent him an invite to the talk Saturday. He said he was busy. And he never invited me to see his sermon on Sunday, but if he did, I'd be busy as well. Still, takes all sorts.
Or why? Then I kind of looked at this economic system that controls the world. An economic system that is so sane that the more successful it is in its own terms, the quicker it destroys the planet. It's the perfect environmental and human assassin. It insists every year that we take more from the earth even quicker, turn it into even more things, sell even more things, consume even more things, throw away even more things, to worship the real God of the modern world, economic growth. It insists that every year 20% of the people of the world consume 80% of the resources, while leaving the other 80% to get by on the other 20%. Crazy, of course it is. But that's the economic system, take, make and throw away, that controls your life and mine. And that of 6 billion people nearly. So I thought, what's behind this self-destruction?
But they won't, because this is the way it's going to be. We're in an epoch change, and I don't care whether you've got letters after your name, or Queen this, or Annie this, or whatever, Lord this. I don't care if you own newspaper like empires, or you run the European Union, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Those people are a fly on an elephant's back to this epoch change. They're going to have to face that. They're going to have to face that big time. And they might expand their awareness and consciousness and become truly as a result of that as well. No one will clap the ground for applause if that happens more than me, because I have no animosity towards them. I have no hatred of them. Because if we hate these people and have animosity towards them, then we become them. What you fight, you become. So I'm not fighting to be part of fighting. I'm interested in letting information be the awakening of people to their true magnitude. And the more opportunities that I get, me, they're coming out the woodwork now. Fantastic to get this information out. The more people will have the opportunity to realise that they're not who they thought they were. They are amazing, and we're going to live in a world. My kids are going to live, well, my grandkids are going to live in a better world, because this is going to move on and get more and more expensive, and it's just...
So, we are living in 5 sense reality in a tiny, tiny frequency range. Infinity lies beyond it. What the Illuminati want us to do is keep that as our focus of what is and real and all the rest of it, and forget about all that stuff, because once you go there, this looks very bloody different, and you start to see through the manipulation and the lies and the claptrap. And people say, I saw it with my own eyes. Well, no, you didn't actually. You saw it with your brain. All the 5 senses do is they pass signals, electrical, electrochemical signals, to the brain, which then interprets them to form a apparently 3-dimensional holographic reality in the brain. We don't feel pain where we get the smack, we feel the pain when the brain has interpreted the message.
People talk about a soul and the fact that we have a soul. For me, what we call soul, the highest expression of ourselves, is pure love. I don't care who you are, what your background is, what you've done. I don't care if you're Henry Kissinger or George Bush or David Rockefeller or the Queen of England or any of these guys that have been manipulating the world and still are. At that level of yourself, you're pure love. Everyone is. You're sane if you judge your success in healthcare not by how many people are healthy, but by how many diseased people you manage to treat. We're treating more patients than ever before. Why? Why are so many people ill? It's conventional wisdom that rising house prices are a sign of economic success when thousands are homeless because they can't afford them. You're sane, finally, if you think it's fine to support a system that is so successful that every year it turns out more suicide, alcoholism, drug taking, homelessness, pain, stress, fear and suffering in all its forms. We'd be in real trouble in this system. That is sanity. But it's the ultimate insanity. So who's behind it? Or what and why? We think, and I say we, I mean most people, we think that when we look through our eyes, we are seeing what exists in the space we are looking at. In fact, we are seeing through physical sight an infinitesimal fraction of what exists in this space. We're seeing a tiny frequency range accessible by 5 sense sight. Now, according to mainstream scientific projections of what exists as mass and matter in this one universe, the electromagnetic spectrum is 0.005% of what is projected to exist in this universe. 0.005%, the electromagnetic spectrum. Human sight can perceive a fraction of that 0.005%. One of the other fantastically effective ways that we're controlled and manipulated is to get us to perceive that we are seeing what exists when we look through our eyes, when we're seeing an infinitesimal fraction. In the space that I'm occupying now are all the radio and television stations broadcasting to London. I can't see them, they can't see each other, because they're on different frequencies, different wavelengths. And therefore, they don't interfere with us, and they don't interfere with each other unless they're really close on the frequency dial. So in the space that I am occupying now, we all are, is infinity. An infinity of worlds and dimensions of existence and what we call life, all existing here.
A bit like the cow who walks in the field, and you've got the herd of cows in the field there, and they're munching away, and their reality is that every now and again the big truck comes and it takes a few of them away, and wherever they think they go, I don't know, another field, on holiday, whatever. And then this other cow comes into the field and says, hey, you got to listen, or you won't believe what I've just found out. You know when they put those cows and some of us in that truck and they take us away every now and again, they're not taking us to another field or on vacation. What they do is they take you down to this big building, and they slit their throats and they bleed them dry, and then they cut them up and they hang them on hooks, and then they put them in little packages and put it in the supermarket, and then them humans come along and buy us and eat us. What would be the reaction of the rest of the herd on hearing this information? You're crazy, man. You're out of your brain. You want to go and see a psychiatrist. They'd never do that. This is ridiculous. And anyway, I've got shares in that trucking company and I get a good return. Shut up, you're making waves. And yet, all the things that I have just said are absolutely true. It's just that the herd will not believe them. And what's happening now as we unfold across the millennium and beyond, and the perception of life dramatically changes. What in the past would have been considered ridiculous, extreme, and nonsense is increasingly, through documented evidence, not from some theory, being confirmed as true. A very, very few people run this planet and control your life. And yet you have the power to control your life. You just give it away. And that's the point. When I talk about danger and opportunity, we're at the point now of that choice. Because that's what life is. It's a choice, and learning from the consequences of the choice, and making different choices and learning from the consequences of them. That's what evolution is. And we're at a point now where we can make incredible leaps as this 26,000-year cycle comes to an end. The next 15 years are going to transform life on Earth. They're going to transform the nature of our perception. They're maybe going to transform some of the physical Earth also. One thing's for sure, it's going to be one heck of a challenge. But no matter how challenging it gets, one thing remains constant. We live forever. We are everything, and everything is us. Whatever we're experiencing in this moment, it's just an experience. Power they're trying to sell to us. Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. This is not a case of transformation of the world through stockpiling weapons and division and conflict and let's meet violence with violence, because we'll just be caught in the same illusion. He said also, cowardice asked the question, is it safe? Expediency asked the question, is it politic? Vanity asked the question, is it popular? But conscience asked the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but one must take it because it is right. And I'll leave you with these words, with the emphasis that this is the world we can and will create. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. When we change ourselves, we change the world. When we love ourselves, we love the world. And when we love the world, it manifests in a very different form to the one I've been talking about these hours over these thousands of years of manipulation. Freedom is upon us. Time to grasp it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time.